Hello there, Guyana. You've asked for it. It is finally here. The Wake Up Guyana Show with yours truly, Leonard Gildari. Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Make your voices be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. The Wake Up Guyana Show.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Hello, welcome to your news at noon for Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. I am Kevin Smith. These are the top stories we're tracking. Gas to Shore project, Guyana could be heading for environmental and economic disaster. International lawyer alarmed, no EIA done to date. Greenwich says failure of governments to punish corrupt party members undermines governance. And Canadian oil service companies flock to Guyana as Ghana fines oil companies for failing to honor work obligations while Guyana embraces non-compliance. Stay tuned to stay informed.
Digicel Prime Bundles just got better with 3 new apps. Watch more with Playglow. Share more with Sportsmax. Read more news with Loop. Listen more with D-Music. Plus extra data. It's simply more bundled together. 51 gigabytes for 7 days for only $2,000. Live the experience with Digicel. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
And now for the news in detail. The PPPC administration has continued where its predecessor left off on establishing a project to bring gas to shore so as to meet the increasing energy demands of the city. Meanwhile, international lawyer Melinda Janke bluntly stated that the authorities of the day are actually embarking on a lunatic project that will place more massive debt on the backs of Guyanese. According to a 2018 feasibility study, a whopping $304 million is needed for ExxonMobil and its partners to bring natural gas from the Stabroek Block to Guyana's shores. The study states that $139 million of that amount for the construction of the onshore infrastructure will have to be financed by Guyana. Also, Guyana would still have to pay for the transportation of the gas. The price is currently under the negotiations between the PPPC and ExxonMobil. Meanwhile, the factors which undermine good governance in Guyana are many, but chief among those challenges would be the way corruption is addressed by governments, especially when their party members are at the heart of those matters. This is the assertion of Carl Greenwich, advisor on borders for the PPPC administration. He asserted that the failure of governments to properly deal with their own party members who have engaged in corruption undermines good governance and the standing of the party. When this is observed by the public, Greenwich said, it leads to citizens harboring the belief that one enters politics with a purpose of filling their pockets and by any means by which they choose to do so is acceptable. And moving on, the Republic of Ghana fines oil companies that fail to deliver on the work obligations committed to in their contracts in order to deter inactivity on the oil block. Ghana does not. Instead, Ghana has embraced non-compliance with work obligations by granting extensions. Ghana National Petroleum Corporation is the state agency charged with exploration, licensing, and distribution of petroleum-related activities. When it comes to Ghana, there is no such provision to hold oil companies accountable for the failure to honor their work obligations. And coming from CBC News, Author Terry Roberts published on December 21st, 2020. It's mid-morning at Crosby Group on Hebron Way in St. John's, and the team meeting in the boardroom features some very familiar chatter. Chief Operating Officer Mark Collett asked one of his vice presidents, Jeremy Whittle, about progress in recruiting a new rope access crew for the offshore. They're actually working right now. They've got crews on the platform, says Whittle. But Collett and his team are not talking about exterior maintenance work or deck services for familiar platforms like Hibernia or Hebron. They're referring to the Liza Destiny FPSO vessel, anchored in deep water offshore the coast of Guyana, some 5,000 kilometers south of St. John's. It's new territory for this fourth-generation St. John's company, and a rare sign of enthusiasm for an industry that has been battered by a worldwide pandemic and a growing movement to wean the province off its economic dependence on oil and gas in order to combat climate change. It is now 12 hours 7, coming up after the break. Director of Atlantic Fuels released on $300,000 bail for falsified invoice, and drunken driver begs cops for mercy after slamming into cars. Commander plans to name and shame errant drivers. And also your COVID-19 update. Do stay tuned.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. The director of Atlantic Fuels yesterday appeared before a city magistrate and was placed on $300,000 bail for allegedly falsifying an invoice and declaring it to GRA. The defendant, 67-year-old Eugene Gilbert, made his appearance before Principal Magistrate Shuttle Isaacs Marcus in the Georgetown Magistrates Court when the charge was read to him, and which he denied. On Monday, December 28, 2020, GRA filed the matter in the court against the fuel company. According to a court document, GRA Commissioner Godfrey Stacia is listed as the complainant, and Atlantic Fuels Inc. is listed as the respondent. And now let's tell you, a drunken driver was yesterday recorded on camera begging cops for mercy after he slammed into two parked cars at Vreeden Hoop on the west coast of Demerara. Police said 25-year-old Andy Dukanandan of Lenora Pasture crashed into the cars around 4 hours 15. The cars, which were parked on a bridge in front of the Chester's Fried Chicken establishment on New Road, belonged to a 24-year-old Presidential Guard of Tushin, according to police. Dukanandan was reportedly speeding west along the southern side of New Road when he lost control and slammed into the cars. Noting the extensive damage of the vehicles, the police were summoned to the scene. When ranks arrived, they observed that Dukanand could barely stand. In other news, NISO on December 31st, 2020 fired, without the hint of warning, approximately 60 workers who were employed by the state-owned company at Wales Estate. This is according to GAWU. The estate was closed in late 2015. The workers were mainly engaged in providing security as well as other laboring tasks. Meanwhile, in a statement yesterday, NISIL said that as a state institution, it was integral in following through on the government's vision to revitalize the sugar estates, and in so doing handed over the vested estates, Skeldon, Rose Hall, and Enmore, with effective dates from September 30th, 2020 to Guy Suko. And now let's tell you the Child Care and Protection Agency will conduct a forensic interview with a 14-year-old who reportedly abandoned her baby after giving birth on New Year's Day. The abandoned infant was found about an hour later lying in a patch of grass close to a sawmill at Kobana Village in Region 1. The underage mom was given the necessary treatment with medical professionals. Police have since launched an investigation into the matter. Director of the agency, Anne Green, said that her agency is investigating the case as well. And now for your COVID-19 update. The Ministry of Health has reported yesterday 21 new COVID-19 cases, which takes the number of confirmed cases in Guyana to 6,379. 3 new cases were discovered in Region 1, 7 in Region 2, 2 in Region 3, 5 in Region 4, 1 each in Region 5 and 6, and 2 in Region 10. There are currently 9 persons in institutional isolation, 264 in home isolation, and 22 in institutional quarantine. The total number of recoveries to date is 5,936, while deaths have moved to 166, with the 2 latest COVID-19 fatalities recorded on Sunday. And coming from CNN, the first patient has received the Oxford University AstraZeneca vaccine in what the UK Health Secretary called a real pivotal moment. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced a national lockdown for England on Monday. The US has administered more than 4.5 million vaccine doses, but is lagging behind some other countries as hospitalizations continue to surge following the holidays. Countries around the world have implemented restrictions and travel bans for the UK to contain a new COVID-19 variant first reported in England. Now the number of worldwide coronavirus cases has reached 86.3 million, with 1.8 million deaths and 6 to 1.2 million recoveries. And that brings us to the end of today's News at Noon. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.